went around and checked, and the good news is we left the dock valve for the north tank open, so whatever's flowing in is flowing straight out again. So there should be no impediment from, or no impediment to ASRA getting in and installing that ladder, apart from the ongoing rain. As you can see, it's really blowing up. It's about 7 o'clock, I think, and the day-night switch has decided it's still night time, so the outside lights are still on here. And the rain rate's 35.4 millimetres per hour. So yeah, it's a little bit wetty yet. This puddle is back, and the canal from the house is past Daddy's house is flowing well. Well, prep work out here for tiling continues. There's going to be a shelf put in over there apparently. Hopefully it's not going to interfere the tap too much there if I want to connect up the hose. I've had to walk away from my computer for a bit because it's crashed numerous times this morning. Mostly it just freezes. Full in Windows, everything absolutely stops, no response to the mouse or anything. Picture stays there, but the only thing you can do is a hard reset. Then I was actually doing a drawing in SketchUp and had not saved it, and the machine said, "Oh, unexpected crash, I'll automatically restart for you." So I lost a couple of hours work. Should have remembered to save. And then during the pre-Windows phase of the boot, it was even locking up in there. So I thought, okay, walk away. If this persists, I'm going to have to pull the machine out from underneath the desk and reseat all the components in it. I certainly hope I don't have a major problem, because that was a very expensive computer that I built to last me the next decade. But let's go and see what these guys are up to. Enough, looks just like what I ordered. Which is good. Looks like this grate is welded now, and we're into the anti-rust and painting phase. That might take a while. It's going to be a bit hard to move this one around, but ASRA concurs with me that the forks on the compact track ladder may be the way to move this thing. Sometimes I have real battle with technology. It's about 10:30, and so far this morning I've been battling with computers. I had my old black one, which preceded this white one in my life. I had it under the desk here. It hadn't been turned on for quite some time, and I figured, okay, well, that and its monitor, which was sitting at this end of the desk previously, they can go over to the shed. So I took them over there, set them up, and it fired up, had connection to the internet, and my NASA's and everything was good. And that gave me the space to come back here after I'd moved my notebook computer off the desk to lift this white one up here and get into it. Yeah, it had two problems. It had started freezing up spontaneously, sporadically, and that happened a lot. Was it yesterday or the day before? It happened a lot, and then it stopped entirely. Wouldn't boot. Great. So I needed to get it up here. What I was planning to do was just reseat all the connectors and see what it did. Applied power to it, and it said memory C5. So you look up the code, and we don't have a code for C5. Never mind. So we're 8 DIMMs in there. I figure, okay, stick them in a few at a time and see what happens. And I did identified one as bad. So given they're in pairs at that point, that means my machine's down 64 gig of RAM, but I have a spare good DIMM now in case another one goes. Then, having got past the memory problems, it said CPU code 68, check code. And you look up 68 and it says, yep, CPU code. Doesn't tell you what's going on, so okay. So I unbolted the liquid cooler off the top of the thing and undid the 3 screws that hold the plate that holds the CPU in, and popped it out, popped it back in again, did all those screws up again. Now it looks like it wants to work fine. So it was just a matter of resetting the CPU connections and identifying and removing a bad memory DIMM. But yeah, not ideal. So I wonder if I can buy one single G-Skill 30 gig, 2 gig DIMM. We'll see. Yeah, apart from doing all that, I actually started by taking all the screens out of the thing and blowing the dust out of them. So it should get adequate cooling. Not sure about the one over in the shed because the ambient temperature over there is 29-30 degrees, so it may not like to keep going. So I'll shut it down when I'm not using it. Which reminds me, I should have shut down the monitor as well. Yeah, okay, so this white one's now going to stay on top of the desk so I can get access to it if I need to. And I'll put the cover back on and proceed with my day. Well, it's a couple of hours later and the machine seems to be working stably now. I did have one scare where the machine appeared to have frozen, but that was just my problem I have occasionally with the mouse goes offline. Just have to disconnect the USB and connect it up again and it starts working again. So hopefully we're good now. Well, looks like this is pretty much done now. The fun part will be picking it up and taking it down to the shed. And that one, yeah, just needs wheels put back on it, and it'd be good to go too. I wonder what this is about. It's could be the gate for between the houses. Yeah, we'll see. Well, yesterday morning Azra did put that stainless steel ladder in the north tank and washed it out, so last night I closed the valve. Shame we hadn't done it 24 hours earlier because there was about 70 millimetres of rain that we missed out on capturing. Actually about 74 millimetres. And I figured out that you multiply that by 12.5 to get the depth in the tank, or front tank. So 12.5 times 74, yeah, 740, 80, 900 and 15, is it? Yeah, getting old, can't do the mental arithmetic anymore very well. But yeah, almost a metre we would have had in the front tank. Oh well, I'm sure it's going to rain again here soon. Seems to do that quite a bit. Even looks a bit threatening at the moment in some directions. Well, it's morning walk around and I have a new camera. My Nikon D3200 had been giving me intermittent trouble with the on switch not switching it on. So I thought, can't afford to be without a camera now. So ordered a D5500. which is not the latest model, which means it was a bit cheaper than it might have been otherwise. That arrived yesterday, so I now have that in hand. All of my accessories would transfer over except for the battery hand grip. Slightly different shapes to the base of these boxes, but hopefully the extra battery life on this one will compensate for that. But the other thing to report, of course, is the D3200 has worked faultlessly since I made the purchase decision for this thing. So, yeah, okay. What do you do? Yeah, well, it looks like the guys must be elsewhere. There's no activity down here at the rice factory. I can use it at the back here. I think that tap is going to be an issue. Might have to move that. Move it forward. One of the uses for the shed is motor scooter parking. There's another one on our front porch yet, which could be in here. But I really want to have this place finalised so I can get all this stuff into its final position, make a bit more space. It's a bit untidy at the moment. Well, the big one's made it down here. And he's busily bailing out the water at the bottom. We'll just see how we go with that, whether we can seal it up with some paint on the sides. Well, the front tank has accumulated some water today. It's been 26.7 millimetres of rain since I was over here last. So that's come up. According to my calculations, it should have been about 330 millimetres. So we're back in the visible range again. So that's about 5,000 litres. That's good. I have a good wife. She went to the store the other day and said, "What do you want?" "Oh, slab of bintang." And there it is. Mind you, I'm alcohol free nowadays, so it's bintang zero, which is like a beer flavoured soft drink, I guess. But yeah, it's alright. Well, so you have the lunch walk around, and we'll have the grates fully fitted. It's looking damn fine. And the other thing that happened today was my 1 tonne chain hoist turned up. So the idea is to suspend that from the 5 tonne one and hoist the 5 tonne one all the way up to the top, and then just use the 1 tonne unit unless we need the 5 tonne. If we need the 5 tonne, wind it all the way down again, take off the 1 tonne, and away we go. And I've just hooked all the chains for the 5 tonne unit up higher, out of the way. They may go higher yet, but yeah, that works a treat. It's much faster to hoist using the 1 tonne hoist. I don't think getting these grates out is ever going to be a one-man operation, but that's okay. There's seldom just one man around. There's usually a whole village to look after things. But yeah, this is one step closer on my journey to getting the shed finished. There's just those gaps at the top of the wall up there, and the top of this wall up here, where the sparrows have easy ingress, which I want to get plugged up. The ends are okay, they're suitably blocked off. And up the top up there, that's all suitably constructed to keep the sparrows out. But yeah, it's coming along nicely. That's more angry looking sky. Hopefully we'll get some more rain. The water level in the front tank is coming up nicely. As usual, when I come down with the rice tractors, it's noisy for one reason or another. Looks like it might be the gate. Between the houses, as I said previously. Well, it's after a walkabout. There's nothing new to report over at the shed, other than, yes, the water level has come up further in the front tank. We're now, what, at, heavens, 6,500 litres. Increases rapidly. And Azra confirmed for me earlier that this will be the gate between our house and Lisa's house. So there you go, confirmed. My voice may sound a bit different to normal. That's because I've got the lurgy at the moment. There's sort of sore throat and aches and pains and congested sinuses at night, all those fun things. So I'm feeling a bit under the weather, but hopefully that'll come good the next day or two. But I figure this video is probably long enough. Do another upload.